work and creating widgets to operate and manage it better, which is what AWS does.
No, I can see. Yeah, no, I can see what you're saying. I can definitely see what you're saying.
Yeah. It's like how different is the new Lego Millennium Falcon, okay, which is a collection of little bits, as opposed to the very first Lego houses that we had when we were kids. The square blocks.
It's way different. Have you seen it? It's the Millennium Falcon is amazing.
But again, all it is someone took the time to make a lot more specialized parts that ultimately work on the same fundamental practice of snapping these little squares together.
So we got about 10, 15 minutes left. I want to talk about who the sponsor of this research is, and then kind of revisit a couple topics in that light. So we're actually doing this work on behalf of Intel. So
cool.
That's the company. What are your perceptions of Intel in the security space? And of course, feel free to be totally honest. It's not our stuff. Don't worry about hurting our feelings.
Sure. No.
Yeah,
so I can go back.
So any perceptions, good, bad, or like maybe you don't have.
Actually, very, very good. Actually, so go back. If I'm going back in the Wayback Machine, back to my early Microsoft days, we were cognizant of the fact that Microsoft and Intel worked out a deal where Intel had a SCIF on site, and as each new chipset was created, daily builds of Microsoft OS was going down to Portland to be tested to increase to make sure that it was not only the fastest it could be, but the best it could be. So I know just from that experience, more than a decade and a half ago, the depth of Intel's investment in the security and performance of their chips. Beyond that, have I heard anything? I haven't heard anything lately. It's kind of nice for the chip wars have died down a little bit, but I don't know if Intel is stretching into any space beyond CPUs at this point. So I haven't heard much more about it.
Okay, perfect. With that lens on it, it's interesting the Microsoft perspective you had there about them working super close, and kind of iterating with the OS and the CPU. From your exposure to OEMs or certain people who make servers like the HPs and the Dells and et cetera, are there folks there that are getting very deep into the CPU security level attributes?
Oh, absolutely.
Or are they just more? Yeah. They do. Okay.
Oh yeah, in spades. Again, I was aware of them, and I would, their horror stories were the most amazing stories. But then again, these are guys who can code in binary as well. But yes, they're.
Is it something they focus? Do you think it's something they spend a lot of time focusing on now, or you kind of said like maybe there's 2 or 3 guys and they spend some time, but it's not like.
It felt like there were a couple of guys. It didn't feel like there was a 50-person team dedicated to, chip security with the next generation of Hewlett-Packard server. There may have been. Not saying I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking with authority that there isn't. Yeah. It didn't feel like it, but the guys who were on it, again, if you think about it, you don't need a lot on it just to solve those problems. So if you get someone who understands the chip architecture, can speak authoritatively to it, iteration after iteration. Even though Intel is a bigungus company, they're not making 10,000 different things. They're making a couple of different things.
They're not changing. Yeah. It's not changing that fast.
Yeah, and the opportunity to influence it is fairly, I think if you're good, your opportunity to influence is probably pretty high.
Mm-hmm. So, I just want to make sure I'm kind of getting a clear picture. I mean, if you were to, this is a tough one because I know you say you don't think much about the hardware. You're very software oriented.
Yeah.
If you are looking to understand, if you did have a need to understand what's going on with CPU level security, do you think would you turn to an OEM like an HP and a Dell? Would you turn to a cloud provider? Would you turn to an OS provider?
No.
A specialized consultant? Like, where do you think you would go for guidance on that?
So it would arrive on my radar if I were if I heard of how we heard of like Heartbleed, okay? So
Yeah.
completely,